The park is closed from July to December because the wet season makes the roads impassable. To discover the park, it's advised to go on a safari with a driver and a hunter who can recognize the animals and show them to you. But if you would rather travel on your own, don't forget that weapons and hunting are forbidden and that you are allowed to drive only 25 miles per hour. Also, it's advised to have 1 or 2 spare wheels and good water, petrol, and fuel reserves, because the 310 miles of roads are very rarely traveled. In short, it's an adventure. All the other animals from the African fauna are present in the Como, but seeing them is a different story. One needs good eyes to discern the lions and leopards lying in the grass. One of the most picturesque sights of the Ivory Coast is the village of Tortilla. Ironically, the village became a city when experts from the company that owned exclusive exploitation rights to the diamond mines there decided they weren't profitable and closed in 1972. Abandoning the mine provoked a clandestine rush of would-be diamond miners that resembled the California gold rush in America. More than 10,000 people came to seek their fortune and established themselves in Tortilla. Life was extremely difficult for these people, who had only their hands and a few miserable tools with which to dig narrow vertical wells 20 feet into the ground. There was no wood to support the wells in the lateral galleries. As a result, the wells often collapsed when 2 workers dug too close to one another. He who had dug the deepest usually died for his efforts when the well above collapsed. With few exceptions, fortune never shone upon these clandestine miners, whose monthly wages averaged out to the equivalent of $4 each. In 1985, a law was passed which officially reopened the mines, creating a narrow exploitation zone, a strip 2 miles wide and 30 miles long, which was cut into 100-acre lots, sold at $1,500 a lot. Who could buy a piece of the Tortilla diamond mines? Only the rich, who shied away from the painful joys of digging deep holes, removing soil in small baskets, and suffocating when the wells collapsed. Not surprisingly, the former clandestine miners now legally work in the mines for the new concessionaires. It's worth a visit to catch the full flavor of what once might have been called the Ivory Coast Diamond Rush. To finish your visit to the Ivory Coast, you should take in the ocean coast and its lagoons. Very close to Abidjan, Grand-Bassam was the first administrative capital of the French colony, a city full of historical souvenirs and tragedies. Grand-Bassam was devastated in 1899 by 2 consecutive epidemics of fever. Today, Grand-Bassam is reputed for its craft center, which offers an extraordinary collection of masks, small statues, and material, which is dyed, painted, and transformed into clothes on the spot. At the city gates, there are many stands which have an impressive number of traditional objects from the Ivory Coast. Grand Bassam is also a leisure and recreation spot for the people of Abidjan. The surrounding villages are scattered along the shore, and many people from Abidjan have obtained small tracts of shoreline from the village chiefs and built small weekend huts. The heat in Grand Bassam and along the shores of the Ivory Coast makes it difficult to resist diving into the ocean. But beware, the difficult surf and undertow make swimming too far from shore very dangerous except in sheltered areas. From Grand Yahoo to San Pedro, across Sassandra and Fresco, the southern shore is extraordinary. It represents an ideal place to recover from an animated and fascinating trip into the inlands of the Ivory Coast.